Bets, presented by Prize Picks, here on the Mayo Media Network. I am Matt Moody, joined by DJ Mitchell, as always, to go through a nice, light Tuesday slate of action. So, DJ, we saw Chris Meany and Eric Young out here on Monday going through 14 games. Now we're in the driver's seat with only 5 games. Like, what are we going to do with all of our free time?
I could definitely talk a little bit more about disc golf if that's what people need, but yeah, we'll just get right into it. I mean, 5 games, end of the year here. They just do a 180 on the schedule. The NHL is like, we have a ton of teams with games to play. We'll do 1 on Sunday, 14 on Monday, 5 on Tuesday. I don't understand, but whatever they got to do. But yeah, Matt, how was your weekend? How's everything going? Any good hits?
Yeah, no, it went all right. I had a pretty good golf sweat on Sunday, so it's always nice when that happens. But yeah, I mean, on Monday, I actually hit a nice little bet. We'll talk about that in just a second. But DJ, how was your weekend there?
Yeah, I was just a lot of consistent good bets and no huge hits. I think that the highlight of the weekend was really watching my family try to bet on the horses, and I did it all through me as their bookie, and just taking the worst possible bets, like hedging like 20-1 bets with the favorites on $5. I'm just like, why would you just make this into a trifecta and like try to make money? Like you're gonna lose money.
When you're like involved in the world, sort of. I mean, honestly, the way that you and I and most of the people watching this are, like, you just kind of forget how not second nature this stuff is to so many people out there. And that always sort of surprises me. Like, when you're just having conversations and dropping like, money lines and odds and parlays, it's just like, people don't know like what you're talking about most of the time. So it's always nice to get that.
I tried to explain to my mom, like, if you take the favorite and a 50-1, she had like, no, 49-1, Bezos. I'm sitting there like you realize you're giving yourself like no chance to win money. Like you see that, right? And I'm just whatever, but it was fun. I had the winning horse last second. Me and my cousin drinking a mint julep. We're like, this horse, this jockey's won 3 times. And I remember actually Pat Mayo, and I'm trying to remember who he had on. He had Cam and Tim, I think. And they were like, oh, like this horse is really good. I'm like, screw it, $20. So nice. Last second hit. It was just fun to watch. So
yeah, Pat loves to give us money. So whenever you're just thinking about Pat, make sure you drop a like on his videos. You never know when he's going to drop in. I mean, he's been known to give people who like the videos like money, and of course the good tips and all that too. But yeah, talking about money, let's get into the action here on Tuesday. Before we do that, I do want to talk to you about Prize Picks. So make sure you head on over to prizepicks.com. Use promo code MMN when you sign up. When you sign up, what you're going to do is you're going to pick up to 5 fantasy scores. There are 5 NHL games going on Tuesday. So there's a thought right there for you. And you're going to pick the over or the under on those 5 fantasy scores. If you get all of them right, you can win up to 10 times your money. Just as simple as that. So for the NHL, you get 3 points for a goal, 2 points for an assist, and a half point for a block shot and a shot on goal. So, be sure to check out the Mayo Media Network Twitter for our favorite picks of the day. And yeah, DJ, anything else going on the Prize Pick street?
Yeah, I'm going to mention 2 things. The first thing I want to mention, it just kind of came to me, is if you really like a shot on goal prop, and maybe you're like, I don't like the odds here. If you go over to Prize Picks, you can take a shot on goal as well in your mix. So if you're like, man,
single stats,
and I feel like we haven't really touched on that a lot, but if you're just in love with one of them, and things change. These Prize Picks will come out though, and then the lines could change. Like the physical lines for what the team is doing. So a guy could get bumped up for line 1 off line 2, and you might get a single stat for them. So it could be really fun in that variety. The other thing that I wanted to mention that just because we check Prize Picks pretty frequently, and I saw NFL pop up, and I was like, what the heck? That's a ways off. You can already put some Prize Pick boards together for the rookies. Which is pretty cool. I mean, things are going to be a little bit different with 17 games, but I was looking at it, I'm like, I'm getting excited here. The Browns definitely won the draft, and they're ready to win the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, I can't bet on how many interceptions Greg Newsom's going to have, but it's going to be fun. I'm really excited to see, what they do with all these different stats. And I know my state, New York, is kind of legalizing everything, so I can't wait to get a little bit more involved than I already am. So anything else before we get to the 5 games?
Yeah, no, I mean, just, make sure you head on over to prizepicks.com, use promo code MMN. And you can put together boards with NHL, MLB, NFL, like DJ's saying, NBA, you can do it all. You can, mix and match. So make sure you do that. Let them know we sent you. and we appreciate the support. So let's head into the first game on the docket here on Tuesday. We have the Islanders at the Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres victorious behind Michael Hauser on Monday evening. Now, I got to say, the underlying numbers were saying, hey, Buffalo's actually been playing good hockey as of late. I'm firmly on team goalies just do not matter. So Michael Hauser, right on up. You know what I did? I put $20 down plus 245. DJ, I'm not going to make you do the mental math, but guess what daddy's sitting on right now? A nice $69.
Oh, wow.
Didn't even plan it. So, thank you, Michael Hauser. You're my boy. And of course, what are we even doing here? Sam Reinhart, though, the star of the show.
It's just, does he have more than Draisaitl now? It's got to be close.
I think he tied him.
I think he tied him, right? I think he tied it with the empty netter. Honestly, the Sabres end of the year, I wish, and some people might know what I'm talking about, some not, the gold drafting system. If you don't know what that is, essentially it's like once you're eliminated, every point you get would go towards getting the first overall pick. And I'm not going to break that down any more than that. You can look it up. The Sabres would easily be getting the first overall pick because they've just been winning games and looking good. And it's very weird because they looked so bad.
Yeah. And actually Reinhart passed Leon Draisaitl. He has 25, Draisaitl at 24 at the moment. Anyway, on Tuesday, though, we're talking about plus 210 on the Buffalo Sabres to run it back. We honestly have no idea what they're going to do in that. It's probably Tokarski, right? There's Tokarski dead now too, because
so Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen has some sort of an ankle injury. It doesn't sound to be that severe. They make it seem like it's more like are we really going to rush this guy back type of situation. So I'm on the fence of they probably just either run Hauser back or it's Tokarski, which I don't think there's any inherent injury to Tokarski, so it's probably going to be him.
Okay.
It says he's out. I don't know. Maybe there is an injury.
I thought there was something with him.
Unavailable. It doesn't say any reason though.
You know what? He was just like
undisclosed, not available for Monday's game.
I mean, you know what he said? He was just like, look, like Hauser, my boy, he's got this. Reinhart can be the backup goalie.
Who was the backup? That's what I'm thinking right now. I'm like, wait, hold on, because Ukko was hurt.
I don't know, man. Let's keep things moving here, though, while we try and figure out like what actually is going on here. But I mean, they could honestly go back to this Michael Hauser character, and it's really interesting because I don't really know how much I want to put in on Sabres. It seems like the line's definitely moved toward them. Obviously after a win, tends to do that. Plus 210 though for this team that, I don't even know if they're playing that well, but it's the Islanders just like, they took care of business last, week or so, but they had some cracks in the foundation. Obviously the Sabres took advantage of that. I mean, they outshot them, I believe 40-35, and like 8 of those shots for the Islanders came in the last couple minutes. It was pretty dominant on the Sabres part, I must say. So I'm a little bit back in on the Sabres here at plus 210. How are you feeling about this over under though? 5.5. We have this Islanders team that if everything goes well, they're playing low tempo, but maybe they spring a leak and what do you know? The game hits the over. So where are you leaning here?
I'm definitely leaning to the Islanders. I mean, I just can't see the Sabres doubling down on them this late in the year, but you never do know for sure. The Islanders are pretty firmly cemented in the playoffs.
The over-under?
The over-under, I like the under. I mean, I don't see this. I mean, it's so hard. I just won't bet it because a guy like Hauser or Tokarski could easily give up 4 in no time at all. And I think the Sabres have shown they're competent enough. And just really, the thing about the Sabres is they're really putting all the minutes in their main guys and let them play. And it's been really exciting to see at the end of the year. So I don't know. And this game, it's not a stay away for me because I do think there's a couple props I might get in on as far as like a Reinhart. I mean, if you get Tage Thompson shot prop, I mean, he hit 7 in the game against the Islanders, and he's just been shooting a ton. And they had him on the second power play. He was shooting the kind of the trigger guy there. So I think there's props here worth playing.
They have Tage Thompson with the same odds to score as Ryan Pulock, and like and we love Pulock, but he shoots from a million miles away. Tage Thompson shoots more. And he can drive the net, get those dirty goals. Like I definitely like him at plus 460 if you're looking for, a bomb of sorts. And then you already mentioned Reinhart plus 205. Anthony Beauvillier as well, plus 205 over on DraftKings. I think those are the two most likely guys to score in this game. Beauvillier has been really, really strong at 5-on-5 and on the power play. Like he sort of had a strong start to the season, hit a bit of a lull, and now he seems to be back and at full strength. So I'm pretty in on Beauvillier here at plus 205. And, if I'm building DFS lineups, I think he's the guy I want to build around from the Islanders side. So any other thoughts on this game?
I mean, as far as DraftKings is concerned, there's a ton of value in this game on both sides. So if you do like the over, and I don't think it's the worst call. Like I'm saying, I'm not sure if I'm going to bet on it, but either of these teams could allow some against. The pace was actually pretty good. You're looking at Barzal at 5.5K, and he's the only player less than Sam Reinhart at 6,200. So no matter what way you go with this, it's going to be a decent to good value, I'd say. And like you already mentioned, Beauvillier, 4K, Thompson, 4.2. So if you're playing DraftKings, I definitely think you're going to want to get a piece of this because there are some studs that I want to jam in. We'll talk about that 10 o'clock game when we get to it.
That's right.
So yeah, I think that pretty much sums this one up though. Nothing over the top. There's a lot of good to score props. So if you really like anyone, and you could even talk me into like a Dahlin who had, I think, 5 shots did he have? 6 shots on goal, 3 blocks, and playing 24 minutes. He was shooting a ton out there. So
if you can find Dahlin for a point, I like that a little better because I'm just not that afraid of him, goal scoring wise. Of course, it's much longer odds, but Dahlin is playing really excellent hockey as of late. So we can move from there over to, again, I mean, all these are rematches from Monday night, but Boston at the Devils. Boston took care of business, 3-0. Like it doesn't really look like a rout, on the scoreboard. Of course, 3-0 isn't the best score, but the shots were 42-20.
Yeah.
I mean, the Devils just never stood a chance here. It was a little disappointing. We didn't get the big guns involved for no 3-point bonuses or anything. Heck, even Pasternak. I mean, he was held off the board entirely. Like Bergeron had a goal and an assist. No Pasternak, anything. So that was a bit weird. But we're looking here again at Boston minus 210 on the road, home underdog in the New Jersey Devils plus 170. How are you feeling about a second home underdog here? Like, what are your thoughts on this game?
I mean, I think if you're doing like a 5-way parlay, just take the Bruins and move on. I don't really see any life in this Devils team. They're very bad. I think Boston is, the thing is at this point that they're in the playoffs. That's pretty much wrapped up. But I just don't really see much of a need to be stacking the Bruins when we see this usage like we do. It's just not worth it. Yeah. So I'm not saying this game is a dead stay away in DFS either, but I'm probably not going to have much of it. If anything, I might consider jamming in the goalie for the Devils and just praying that they get the win, even though I don't think it's going to happen. But if Blackwood's in, he's good enough to maybe steal a game. He has 3 in a row if he does get the nod here, which I assume he would with Wedgwood playing on Monday. That's one angle of looking at. But I just think that I'm almost entirely fading this game from all props. I don't trust the Bruins with anything they're going to do. This game is Marchand with 6 shots on goal. Next game, it could be Pasternak. I don't know, but I'm not going to play Russian roulette with this game. It's basically the way I'm looking at it. I'd rather just not touch it with any of the props. Maybe consider Jack Hughes or something because he's playing so many minutes. But
if you're into some player versus team type stats, Mackenzie Blackwood has 5 starts versus the Bruins. So on the year, he's made about 30-ish starts, and he's at a .902 save percentage. In his 5 starts against the Bruins, he has a .950 save percentage. He is 3-0-2. So in every game, the Devils at least picked up a point against the freaking Bruins. So I don't know how much I read into that with Mackenzie Blackwood, but if you're going for a cheap goalie, I think he's a very viable option. Like you said, he should easily see the 35 saves. So I kind of like that. I'm not sure I'm as willing to go in on this as I am the Sabres, just because, like you said, the Devils aren't playing a very good brand of hockey at the moment. And frankly,
if it's Hauser, he's minimum salary again.
That's true. That's true.
If it's Hauser, even if it's Tokarski, 6,900, he's cheaper. And I don't know if either of them
So
is just inherently like a superior play by far, but you think the Islanders aren't going to absolutely pump them like the way the Bruins might. So maybe.
So yeah, we do have a couple interesting options real early there. So looking at some of the players here, does anything stand out to you as far as, the score odds or any usage notes from the game that you noticed?
It's hard because the first line for the Bruins dominated in such an unbelievable way that it's like overwhelming when you look at their just the base stats and you see Bergeron 4 shots, Marchand with 6 shots, Pastrnak with 3 shots. You think like, wow, that must have been really good. They only played like 15 minutes. Pastrnak got 16, Marchand was 16. Not their normal workload, especially not when you get to playoff time. And they had that kind of dominance puck possession.
I mean,
so it's still a good play. Like you could talk me into it, but I'm just not going to be able to afford it on DraftKings. I'm not sure if I want to take any of these shot props because, like I said, I don't really trust any of them. I think I trust Pastrnak the most, but 3.5 is tough with that usage. And you're getting them all at bad to score odds and bad to get a point odds, which is because they're great. So I don't know. It's really hard for me to want to like sink my teeth into one of these and put some variants that I just don't like because of the usage,
Yeah, I will. So I will say a couple of things that stood out to me. One, you mentioned the dominance. The expected goals in the 3-0 game were 3.2 to 1.2. Like just crazy numbers there. One guy who did stand out was Jake DeBrusk. He's real cheap over on DraftKings. He's 2.6K. I mean, look, he's not been very good all year. He's playing on the 4th line, but you're on these sort of smallish slates. You need to take stands on guys who can pop multiple goals.
Yeah.
And DeBrusk is certainly one of those guys. You might even see, 7:00 come around and, oh, look, someone's sitting, someone's banged up. They're taking a maintenance day. And DeBrusk is almost certainly going to be the guy who steps into a larger role if that should happen. So just keep an eye out for it. I'm not anticipating anything directly, but I think DeBrusk is just one really good break away from having a very strong night. And this is a guy who, in past years has been 5K on DraftKings because he's been, a solid goal scorer for this team. So he just needs to roll to show up for him. And I think this is a spot where that could happen. And then as far as the Devils side of things, like you said, I think I'm just staying away. But Sharangovich has been really good, still playing with Hughes. I think you can chase that as far as, shot prop goes or whatever. You can get him basically even money for, I think under is 2 over on FanDuel. I saw that on Monday. So I think that's the one that I would go to. But for the most part, I'm just trying to get as many Bruins as I can. Or honestly, I kind of like the under in this game, just taking the under, moving on to some of these other matchups.
Right,
but anything else?
I agree. Honestly, that might be the way to do it. Just take the under rather than anything else and just move on, or just take the Bruins. But the under is going to give you better odds. And I think it's just as likely to hit as the Bruins winning because I think a nice 2-1 game either way is possible, right. But probably the Bruins.
That's what I'm thinking here.
You are praying that the Bruins don't play Rask, which is somewhat decently likely, and whoever it is just absolutely stinks it up. And it's probably Swayman, who's been awesome. So I don't see it happening.
I don't know if it matters much, but I sort of see a low scoring.
Unless if it's a lock. If it's a lock, he's had those games. He's definitely had those games.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we can go from there over to Pittsburgh at Philadelphia. I mean, a lot of stuff happened on Monday. A lot of it unpredictable. I mean, a guy who hadn't played an NHL game in Michael Hauser ever. I mean, he hadn't played a game in any league in a year, won a hockey game. And nothing might have been less predictable than the Philadelphia Flyers winning 7-2 against your Pittsburgh Penguins. That was a very surprising result, I must say. I don't even know how much more there is to cover here. Like, that game was just absolutely nuts. But how do you feel about the rematch? I mean, Philly, you can still get them plus 135 at home, another home underdog. Or are you siding with Pittsburgh at minus 160 on the road in a bounce back spot, looking to take back possession of first place in the East?
I mean, I just think that this is just, first off, it's a great stat game. I mean, there was like over 70 shots on goal. I'm pretty positive. I think it ended up being over 80, 40, over 80. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think the over is real strong here, even at 5.5. I mean, I like Pittsburgh in a bounce back a little bit. I'm interested to see what changes they make. But I'm fine with taking Pittsburgh in a bounce back, even though the Flyers have played pretty well and Pittsburgh hasn't played great. I don't think it's going to be something that is worth, the small sample size of a one game to completely sway me away from the inherent value I think that Pittsburgh is here, being a far better team overall. I think we're getting real close to Malkin coming back. Maybe
no, he is back. He played.
Oh, he played. Oh my God, he did. I remember looking into. Wait.
Yeah, no, he played with Kapanen and
oh my God,
Zucker. So yeah, no, he's back.
We were really close.
he's real close to coming back. He's so close, I can already taste it. But yeah, no. So Malkin came back in the lineup. Didn't have a great return. Went -3. Did pick up a point on the Zucker goal, but yeah, people love their plus minus. Malkin certainly didn't help his cause there. So it is real interesting to think about what Pittsburgh might do after that loss, but they also just might do nothing. I mean, why, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And one game where, the Smith just obviously springs a leak. I don't know how much. Actually, Jari gave up too early, and then the Smith came in, I believe. But in any case, I think that was just a real tough game from a Pittsburgh standpoint in net. So I think I'm with you. Rather than pick a side, I think I will go right back to this over. I do just like both sides here a whole heck of a lot. And I do think they offer some nice value. So I will start with Malkin. We talked about him coming back into the lineup. It's not necessarily him, but he's 6,300 on the top power play. But you can get him with Zucker at $3K and Kapanen at 3,700. I mean, that right there is about a $14,000 line stack on DraftKings. That to me is what I think I want to attack. But are there any other sort of players, especially on the Flyers side, that you are looking at here?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Flyers, it's funny because all of the time before this year, it seems, it was always man, the Flyers just roll 4 lines. The Flyers, now there's such a concentration of minutes with the top 2 lines. I mean, it's been really nice to see. So it's so obvious where to go. The Giroux-Couturier line is going to get the bulk of the minutes. Konechny, it was right there with them at 17, though. It's 7 shots on goal. So it's, it's going to be pretty easy to figure out what you want to do there. I really think that I'm just going to end up having at least one whole game stack here. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to come out to be. I love Pittsburgh 1.
Yeah, so I will say Konechny is just a ridiculous value at 4,300.
He played with. I'm just trying to look if they changed it up at all during the game.
He was with Giroux and Couturier.
He was, right? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, okay, and on the top power play.
Yeah, so, just because Giroux got 22 minutes and he had 17, I'm did they make a change? But
no, what Giroux does is Giroux just takes these long shifts. So, Giroux's out there, he's playing with, multiple lines at a time, basically. But he's Claude Giroux, and he seems back. He seems really confident, picked up another 2 goals, but he's been shooting a lot lately. So yeah, definitely if you're going with the Flyer side, I think their top line is where I want to go. And then with the Pittsburgh side, their second line, and just sort of, the top lines will square up, and you just got to think, the Malkin line gets the advantage in their matchup, and the Couturier line gets the advantage in their matchup. And there you go. You have a nice little game stack going. So I like that idea.
The other piece is Gostisbehere had the first power play, right?
He's back. Yeah, he is back.
Yeah, he's making sure. I mean, he scored, correct?
He did score. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was in the first power play. Yeah. Yep.
DJ, learn how to read a game log.
And Konechny and Giroux assisted that. Wow. Yeah, the whole stack actually hit. Wow. Hopefully they do it again. Yeah, no, I was just thinking, I was pretty sure he played the first power play, which is pretty cool because Ivan Provorov's been such a great smash play lately, but he comes up that first power play, kind of hurts his upside.
Hey, it's ghost season. We're always in for spooky season. All right. Yeah. Let's get over to Chicago at Carolina. Carolina coming off of a big win. Aho putting up 9 shots and a hat trick. I mean, Aho just did everything that we wanted Andrei Svechnikov to do. And I got to say, I'm here for it. I'm fine with it. So, we're talking Carolina at home -230. over under 5.5. That just seems, that just seems a little off to me. Like, give me the over right away. That seems one of my favorite bets off the board. I'll take that one, honestly. But how are you feeling about the sides here? Anything of note?
I mean, I think I've always been team the Blackhawks aren't that good. I think that I would say that almost every time we do a show and they're playing any of the top three teams in their division, I am like, why are the odds the way they are? And I think this is the case where, we finally get a matchup where with Carolina, I think the odds are pretty correct. I still like Carolina, but I just don't see a point in it. Just take the over. You can't do both. Just take the over here.
Yeah.
It's just so much. It's just so much more value than trying to take a minus 230 Carolina in a game that they want to lose. They want to secure first place. Obviously, they're going to be playing hard. The top guys will be out minutes, and you see top players getting 18, 19. So I'm not trying to say that.
All right. Well, while DJ fights his internet, looking at the games between Chicago and Carolina this season so far, we have a 4-3, 6-4, 5-3, 2-1, 4-3, 5-2. We're talking 5.5 here. If this was a 6.5, I'm honestly shading the over as well. So to see 5.5, that's just a number I'm jumping on. We've seen it numerous times in these, in this matchup, obviously, and we saw it again literally last night. So give me the over 5.5. If I'm looking at the players, I got to start in the Hawk side because without Adam Boqvist, there is a power play one job up for grabs. That does go to Duncan Keith. So, it's not flashy. It's not sexy. He's a little bit priced up, but you're talking pretty good value in Duncan Keith. If you can get a player prop for shots on goal, I was seeing him at 1.5 over at minus 120. If you can get that again, I'm all about that on Tuesday. He picked up 3 shots on Monday, but just that power play job is just so valuable. Even if he's not going to score, he's going to put pucks on net, get him through traffic, just try and create rebounds. So I like the Duncan Keith player prop when you can find it. But how do you feel about the Svechnikov shot prop, DJ? I know we do this every show and it's, sometimes it works, sometimes it burns us. But tell us once and for all, what are you doing with Mr. Svechnikov?
Can you hear me okay? First off.
I can. We'll see if that continues.
Oh my God. I don't know what happened there. It just all of a sudden just went real laggy. The Svechnikov shot prop has been dead lately, and it's weird to watch him not hit his shot prop and his DraftKings price just soar.
Yeah.
It's just odd. But I don't know. Again, it's funny, like looking at this game log, it's eerily similar to what Boston did to New Jersey, except Nedeljkovic didn't quite stop pucks at the same rate that Tuukka did. I think that there's going to be a lot of shots for Carolina again. I think it's very likely that Svechnikov could hit it over 2.5, but part of me just wants to take Dougie, and I'm assuming decently similar odds. How far off would Dougie be? And he's just been better. Right. He's been better. He shoots from farther. I know.
You heard it here. You heard it here. We're off the Andrei Svechnikov train.
I would just rather take Dougie. That I'm not off of it. Like he's still my boy. He knows that. He's listening. Andre, I got your back. But Dougie's a better play. He has a better Corsi per 60 over the last 10. Probably more than that, probably over the course of the year, even, like if you want to get crazy. And he's going to be out there for 20, 22 minutes, power play one, just like Svechnikov, but he's been shooting so much lately. I don't see a reason why I would do that. And I'm guessing the odds are going to come in similar.
All right. So, I think if I'm going on the Carolina side, I'm obviously attacking that first line in DFS. And for player props, I like Dougie. Give me Dougie as well for the shot prop if you can find him. So,
is there any value in this game you like? Because I feel like we talk a lot on DraftKings. We're like, we haven't even gotten to the two top players of the night maybe. So, one guy that I hadn't mentioned yet that I wanted to get to, if we keep talking about Carolina 1, I think that the value of the night could be also with Teravainen, a guy that's playing the role. He's shooting, he's scoring. I don't really see why we haven't mentioned him as another guy we want to include in this, other than was he on the
I mean,
probably in this one.
He is not, and I just don't trust him as a shooter. That's my concern with Teravainen paying $5K for a guy that I just don't trust to put pucks on net. So that's my main concern with it. If I'm looking for value, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like if I'm looking for actual value here, I mean, I'm honestly thinking about Adam Gaudette. Like, like it's real dicey, I think, in this game. But at least Gaudette saw some ice time with Patty Kane. We know that Gaudette, when he's on the ice, will put pucks on goal. And then on the Carolina side, if I had to pick one, I mean, Warren Fogel's really been he's been producing. I'm not positive that continues, but if you're looking for punts, I think those are your two options from this game. Besides the Duncan Keith value that I talked about, but he's not like entirely, minimum salary or anything. So does that sufficiently answer your question?
I mean, I want to say that's fair, but I think on a 5-game slate, if you're in on Carolina 1, get all in on Carolina 1. Like they got to go for 3 or 4 goals, and they were fine and could have.
Or Aho can go for a hat trick and 9 shots on goal, and Svechnikov can get 1 shot and 1 assist. So,
that could happen.
Yeah, no, it's hockey, baby. So
I like Teravainen though. I really do. I think that he's going to find a goal in this one.
All right. Last game of the night, Edmonton, Vancouver. I mean, the big news obviously out of Edmonton is the band is back together until it's not. McDavid, Draisaitl, Puljujarvi, top line. They're going to be popular. Yeah, Puljujarvi's already, he scored on Monday. The line's clicking. So, we get them at the peak of their powers. Man, like if you just betting back-to-backs in general is tough. Betting this back-to-back is real tough for me because I want to like this Vancouver team. I like a lot of their pieces. It just doesn't work. Their defense just is not good enough. Nope. Even they can put guys like Niels Höglander in great spots. He can be productive, and it just doesn't matter because he'll give up goals to McDavid. So you're talking minus 195 on the Edmonton money line. I think I just got to take that. I want to go underdogs. I want to go on all dogs card, but especially home dogs, 4 home dogs on this slate, but I just can't do it. So give me the Edmonton side of things here. And how are you feeling about the over under currently posted at 5.5?
I know, right? It just doesn't feel right.
Are they trying to trick us? Like
it feels like they're trying to trick us because I don't quite get it. We're still talking about McDavid and Draisaitl against Vancouver. Most games against Vancouver.
That's right.
Vancouver gives up 3 goals a night. Like if they're going
in their sleep.
In their sleep. And then that's before the end of the first. I don't get it. I really don't. I'm very on the over. Also, I mean, just as you already mentioned, Niels Höglander plus 330 to score.
Love it.
That seems like a real good value. I mean, he's around guys like James Neal and Ryan McLeod. That doesn't seem completely correct.
And unlike those guys, he's playing with JT Miller and Brock Besser.
Yeah, seems weird. But yeah, I just mentioning that really quickly. But yeah, I'm all in on McDavid here. I think at a multi-point night, maybe even go with like a 3-point night for him. He is so incredibly good. This is such a bad Vancouver team, and I don't really understand. And again, I agree with you. Like, there's so many pieces on Vancouver that I like, but you put this team together, and for some reason they
need a goalie to bail them out. And, I guess that could happen. It's happened for them lately, but I mean, I just don't really feel like there's much more to this besides I'm pretty in on the Oilers again. If you're looking to get crazy, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is slotted to play alongside, I just had it up, Cahoon and I don't know if can you help me there on the Yamamoto.
Was it
that's right?
Yamamoto? Yeah, it was like, yeah.
Yeah. That's where you can go if you want to get kind of crazy with it. They're certainly good players. Yamamoto especially has some offensive talent. But a lot of the people in this game are going to be looking at Draisaitl and McDavid. If I had to pick one, I'm picking Draisaitl to score over McDavid. Draisaitl's just, shown the trigger, I guess. He's been the trigger guy when he's played alongside McDavid. McDavid tries to find him more than Draisaitl tries to find McDavid. So that's how I break that tie. But I do like betting both the score. and just sort of going, Edmonton onslaught sort of with your bets, because plus money on either of those guys seems a little off to me. Like that seems like good value. So
everything you said is right. I mean, I think if you're going to do the Edmonton onslaught, you got the Sabres, you got the Islanders. You could get value from both of them in together if you want, or you could just kind of go in on one of the lines like a Middlestad, Thompson, and you could definitely make that work. I'm probably going to do that.
Before we pick a couple of our favorite lines for DFS, let's just quickly summarize 2 of our favorite bets on the night and then get to some of these line stacks.
Okay, yeah, I get carried away sometimes with the DFS, that.
That's right.
Favorite bets, I don't want to, I'll let you go first because we're so invested in one of them. I don't want to steal it.
All right. I mean, look, so I'm debating which of the home dogs I want to take, but before I do that, I am rushing to the counter to get the over on Chicago, Carolina.
Yeah. That's real sharp. I think the under on the Boston, New Jersey is also just the right call there. Especially, actually, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's in it for Boston. They're going to give up less than 2 goals, like 2 or less. And even if they score 3, I think that it's just everything about that game makes sense. The only thing you're worried about is Mackenzie Blackwood absolutely laying an egg. And I think he's a good enough goalie to keep from Boston, pumping 5 on him. So.
All right. So I'm going to break the tie with the home dogs, my home dog card, my favorite home dog on the slate, the Buffalo Sabres. Doesn't matter if it's Michael Hauser. Doesn't matter if it's Dustin Tokarski. Doesn't matter if Ryan Miller retires from the Ducks, signs with the Sabres, plays in net the next night. Doesn't matter who the goalie is because Sam Reinhart's going to carry them. Sam Reinhart going for that Rocket Richard, baby.
He's almost there.
Almost there. I think just 15 more goals.
I think my next one would be really almost any shot prop in the Philly-Pittsburgh game. You could talk me into so many. Konechny, I think it's going to be a little bit of the hotter hand if you can get it, just because he has such a prominent role right now and clearly the trigger guy in many capacities for them. So I think he's the safest bet there. But honestly, any of the top line for Pittsburgh too, if they're 2.5, I think is in play. They're going to see over 20 minutes of ice time probably altogether in a really high tempo game. So Crosby, the safest bet there. Rust has actually come back to form a little bit. If you find like really, really good odds on him, because he's been so bad as of like the course of the last 20 games. I don't know if some.
Yeah, Rust has, he actually missed tonight, but Meany was talking him up. He had some pretty good form as of late. So could bounce back.
If he's back,
but let's do a couple of DFS stacks and get on out of here. So I will go first. It's not creative, but Edmonton one man, I think you just got to do it. Like McDavid, Draisaitl, Tyson Barrie, maybe over Puljujarvi. People might chase the goal he scored, but we know Puljujarvi can sort of disappear even when McDavid has one of his games. So give me Tyson Barrie, maybe a little bit different, and then we'll get creative with the second stack. So what are you going to lead us off with?
I mean, there's a lot of ways to go about this, but I think, especially because you want to be getting Edmonton in, and I know you're high on the Sabres, but I'm going to go the other way with just Beauvillier, and just really working around him. It makes the most sense, I'd say, to probably take his center and Brock Nelson. And then I'm trying to pull up their power play that they ran, because I'm sure they changed it. Was he with Polak? Do you have it?
We actually don't have that at the moment because HockeyViz has not posted it, but that is what I believe happened.
I believe it was Polak.
All right, so my second one, I will go with a little Chicago stack. And, again, I don't love Chicago here on their face, but we did see a line late in the game of Patty Kane with Adam Gaudette. And, I'm just here for anything Adam Gaudette related. And then tack on Duncan Keith to that. And, there's a 3-man stack that I don't think anyone else will have. And certainly Gaudette's a stretch, but you got to play these, bargain bin guys in order to fit in the studs. So I think that's what I'm doing. Hoping people miss on that. And even if Patty Kane's not listed on that line, he does play with everyone. So just get Gaudette into somewhere in a nice roster spot. And I think he's a good play on this slate. One more for me and then let's go. Or from you, Deej.
I closed every single tab, so my internet hopefully doesn't suck again. I just heard it start to go. I don't know. Sorry about that. So last one. God, this is tough. What did you say again? Which last one was it?
I said Chicago.
Chicago, right? Okay.
Edmonton.
Yeah. I was going to make sure. Okay, I'll do the Flyers one.
Nice.
Giroux, Konechny, and give me Gostisbehere.
All right, I dig it. So, if you want some, if you want to talk more about DFS, we do have a Discord, the Morning Skate Podcast Discord. DM us on Twitter at Morning Skate Pod if you want to join that. A lot of good talk going on in there. But if you just want to talk bets or whatever, feel free to drop a comment in the YouTube section, tweet at us. I'm at Fake Moods. DJ's at DJ_Mitchell94. We'd love to help you guys out. So we hope that you all, really have a great 5-game slate here. Lastly, big thanks to PrizePicks for sponsoring the show. Head on over to prizepicks.com, show your support using code MMN when you sign up, and they'll even give you up to a $100 match bonus for doing so. So from DJ and from myself, good luck, everybody. We will see you.